Good morning. Good morning, Charles Van Morgan. Charles Van Morgan in the morning, or Charles Van Morgan evening or afternoon, wherever it is in your country. So, got a great show for you today. Going to talk about crimes of the privileged, crimes of the powerful, privileged people. You know, they do a whole lot more damage to society than street criminals. So we're going to talk about that today from an educational journalist perspective. And talk about some instances that's right out of the textbook about crimes of the privileged. Some people call it white collar crime, suit crime. Could be called uniform crime. Could be called robe crime, crimes of the privileged. Come on in, join me this morning. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We're going to talk about crimes of the privileged. So, we had one, they left, so come on back in. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We're going to talk about crimes of the privileged, how much more dangerous they are, the affluent crimes, than street criminals. We're going to talk about that from an educated perspective. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So we're also going to do a little test of the emergency broadcast system. No, we're going to do a little test of statistics to show y'all a few important things. So Charles Van Morgan in the morning, join me. Let me turn this around. Turn the light on. So Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We got a great show for you today. Come on board. Come on board, talking about crimes of the privileged. They get coddled and get out of crimes. And when they do get convicted, they get less time. Or they don't even get convicted. It's considered a civil issue. Because crime is a social construct of people in power designed to, a lot of times, keep them in power. So we're going to talk about crimes of the privileged from a sociological criminology perspective, and also we're going to do a little test, show you all some odds and probability, a little statistics. So come on in. Thank y'all for joining. Got a great show for you today. Crimes of the privileged. So we're going to discuss that this morning. Charles Van Morgan in the morning, unbridled truth. Relentless, unbridled truth. So here we go, marching downtown. And so come on board. Let's see if we got anybody in here. We'll start talking. We may repeat a few stuff later as we get more people in here. The Charles Van Morgan Show. We have reached almost 500,000 people in the past month. So we're gaining traction. Like, share, comment, and if you subscribe, please hit the like button so I know you subscribed. I'll be able to count my subscribers. So I just need, less than 50 more and I'll have over 1,000. So we need to have 50 likes. So if you hit the subscribe button at the same time so I know how many subscribers I got, because I can see the likes but I can't see the subscribers. So this morning we're talking about crimes of the privileged from an educated perspective. So I have a Master of Arts in sociology with an emphasis in criminology. So I understand a little bit about crimes of the privileged. And most of y'all know that the rich get richer and the poor get prison. Most of y'all know how unfair things are and that they're not right. But did you know there's science to go along with what you think, and statistics and studies from sociologists and scientists back up what y'all think? So you're absolutely right. What you suspect is the truth. So we're going to talk about white collar crime this morning. Some people call it, you can call it state crime. Some of it's state crime, crime by people in government offices that use their positions of power to commit criminal acts and things that damage the public. Much more damaging than street crime. So we're going to have a lot of traffic because it's about 6:30 in the morning. We'll wait till this car gets off the road. Live Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Yeah, you can go on. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So let's see if we got anybody in here. And we're going to talk about the crimes of the privilege and how much damage they cause. They cause more damage than street crimes, what law enforcement, what police deal with. Rich people's crimes. Doctors and the lawyers and the judges and the administrators and the corps, people in those corporations, I call them corps, and they're killing Americans. These people commit crimes that harm society at a cost of astronomically more than what the police deal with. And we'll discuss some examples this morning, talk about it, and explain a little bit to you. And what you think is what's going on. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Crimes of the privilege. And we're going to discuss state crimes, crimes of people in power. Now, we're going to go into a little story. Let's see if we got anybody in here. So yeah, we got a few. Thank y'all for coming in. Now, in 1991, September the 3rd of 91, the Imperial Food Company in North Carolina was a chicken processing plant that fried chicken, parts of chicken, and they had a plant that they had the doors padlocked. Get off the road here, the car's coming. They had a plant that the doors were padlocked, and also they didn't have any fire extinguishers, and they didn't have any water sprinklers or any fire deterrent system. Now the workers had complained, they didn't complain a lot because they get fired, about the working conditions of the meat processing plant in North Carolina. North Carolina is a right to work state, so they can fire you for any reason. And so the owners were concerned about making money. They even had the doors padlocked, the fire escapes padlocked, the exits out, because they didn't want people pillaging and stealing their chicken, through exits where they could just unload it outside. So they had the fire escapes padlocked, and more concerned about making money, concerned about the safety of their employees. And what happened is a conveyor belt broke, and in September the 3rd of 91, the plant caught on fire. And people trying to get out, and they couldn't get out. Some of them, the doors were padlocked, and it created an inferno, and all the grease and a plume of fire went across the building and caught the building on fire. Employees were trapped in the building, couldn't complain or they'd get fired, and 25 people died in that fire in North Carolina at Imperial Food Processing Plant because of the crimes of the affluent. They didn't follow the law as far as emergency exits, and they didn't have no fire deterrent system. 25 people were killed at work because of crimes of the affluent, crimes of the privileged. Now they had to pay $800,000 fine. They were prosecuted for it federally, and also the owner. There goes the predictable rooster in the morning saying it's time to get up, time to get up. Just like human behavior, you can predict it. And they had that's crimes of the privilege. 25 deaths, that's more than any one criminal damage does going into a bank and robbing a bank, and doesn't hurt or shoot anybody if he gets out with the money. That is suit crime, white collar crime, crimes of the affluent, crimes of the rich. And also from 68 to 94, Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railroad had railroads in Crawford County in Missouri, and they were dumping hazardous waste in, because they got it out of they were working a mine, hauling stuff out of a mine, and they were dumping hazardous waste in Crawford County, Missouri for years from 68 to 94. And they endangered the community and didn't have any permission to dump the hazardous oxide, I think it was, and they paid a civil fine. None of them were ever prosecuted in criminal court. That's crimes of the affluent, crimes of the privileged that cost more social harm. David Lanier, a judge in Tennessee, in Dyersburg, Tennessee, was a judge, and he was over child custody court, and he would give people their children for sexual favors in the courthouse. He was crimes of the government. That's a state crime. Road crimes. He was prosecuted and sentenced to jail. A lot of these crimes are going unnoticed and undetected. Judge Lanier David Lanier in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Judge Richard Baumgardner here in Knox County, Tennessee, took drugs off women in his drug court, rehabilitation drug court, was taking drugs off women, was sitting on the bench high as a kite, ruling over death penalty cases that had to be retried, cost Tennesseans millions of dollars in tax money to retry, have new hearings over a young couple that got murdered because he was on the bench high. Prosecutors knew about it. They knew about his drunkenness. They allowed him to sit on the bench. Randy Nichols, they allowed him to sit on the bench. And also Sharman Tissue Allen was a prosecutor in his office. They allowed him to sit on the bench because they got rulings from him. Every time they went in front of him, wanted somebody convicted or wanted a decision, wanted a search warrant, they could always count on Judge Richard Baumgardner, because they had to know that something was wrong. Although they say they didn't, they sure got rulings from him. They sure worked around his courthouse and should have known, but they didn't report it to the Board of Judicial Conduct, and if they had, would it have even gotten anywhere? It got so bad that he couldn't perform his duties. A woman came forward and TBI started investigating, and he got prosecuted for his crimes, and that in 2012. But other people at the courthouse that knew or had to know, Randy Not-Worth-the-Plug Nichols, the district attorney, and also Sharman Tissue Allen, the district attorney now, that worked right with him, that got rulings in their favor, is the reason why they didn't report him, I believe. They weren't prosecuted for anything and still get elected. Sharman Tissue Allen is the elected Knox County prosecutor, who was in the prosecutor's office. Tammy Hicks, we're talking about crimes of the privilege. Do more damage than street criminals. Oh, they go after street criminals, don't they? And they should. But do they go after crimes of the privileged? These powerful people do more social harm. That's what crime ought to be, right? Crime ought to be It ought to be illegal when your activity or your conduct, or when you're in a position of responsibility, your refusal to act causes harm to people, causes people to get raped, causes people to get killed. That ought to be illegal, right? Well, it is. But crimes of the powerful, suit crimes, road crimes, police officer crimes, major crimes of the affluent and rich that do a much more harm are hardly ever prosecuted. Lowly police don't make the news that much. Only when it gets so bad out of hand that something has to be done about it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some cases here in Tennessee that have caused mass fatalities due to this day because of the phenomenon. It's not hocus pocus, it's science. You'll hear this in every major university in a sociology criminology class. It's not something I'm making up. It's mainstream knowledge that's thought out. That's not something that's a conspiracy theory. It is science backed up by proof and evidence and statistics, backed up by studies of how much damage these rich people cause, these people in high positions, how much social harm they cause as compared to how much a street criminal causes. Some people call it white collar crime, suit crime, state crime. It's gone by a lot of different names, but it is crimes of the affluent and powerful, and they escape serious justice. Most of the time they don't even get punished at all. And I happen to know about that because I have a education in sociology, criminology, and I also have from a major university, their university, that has a criminal's name on the side of the building that never went to school there. And you won't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We're talking about science. We're talking about facts. We're talking about crooked people in power that are dangerous to you. So we're going to keep talking about a few of them. And let's see how many people got on here. Maybe answer a few comments. God bless you all. Thank y'all for listening. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. You won't hear this anywhere else except for this channel. No one's brave enough, got the knowledge or education or life experience that wants to deal with it. But I'm dealing with it just like I did when I was lowering the fatality rate for you. This is all about Tennesseans. This is all about Americans, and this is all about people in foreign countries, Canada, Australia, whatever country you're in. I'm telling you about crimes of the untouchables. And you know who they are. And you know what I'm talking about. You just didn't know that there was science to back it up. And there is a hell of a lot of it. A hell of a lot of it. Chapters and books written on crimes of the affluent. They're much more dangerous to us than your sole thief or criminal. And a lot of times they're in a government criminal conspiracy. And we're going to point them out today. Point them out, the ones I know about. And you may know about some too. If you know about some, let me hear about it. Let me hear about it. You don't hear a lot about it on the news because it doesn't make the news that much. Because it's not as newsworthy as a violent criminal running from police and wrecking, or a violent thug going into a bank and robbing it and getting away with several $1,000s. It's not as newsworthy as someone that costs taxpayers millions of dollars that just results in a few cents more at the grocery store in tax money that you got to pay. It doesn't make news because it's not as newsworthy. People don't care about paying a few more cents as they do about hearing about something that's inflammatory. But I'm going to point it out because it should be inflammatory, because it costs you your lives, and it costs you your property, and it costs you your freedoms. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So listen, subscribe. I only like a few more. If you subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll know that you hit the subscribe button, so I'll know how many subscribers I got by the likes. Pretty close anyway. And if you've already subscribed, hit the like button anyway. So we're going to continue this dialogue about the affluent, the untouchables. The rich get richer and the poor get executed. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to point out some names show you a list of names. Point them out, call them out by name. And, you know, they may try to attack me. I don't know. Like in the North Carolina food processing complaint, they were afraid to complain. Well, I'm complaining. I'm complaining big time. I'd rather complain than be dead. Hey, unlock that door. I got to get out of here in case this place catches on fire. Where's a fire extinguisher? You need to put one in here. This is wrong what you're doing. I'm going to complain. You need to complain. Let's stand up and fight back for the truth. 25 people died. It's about, they paid $800,000 for that in 91. That's about $32,000 a life. I'd rather have my life than pay my loved ones $32,000 or pay that fine. It might not even went to the families. So let's say something about it. Let's complain. I'm complaining today and trying to correct the situation, calling out names. Call the governor. Tell him we're not putting up with this stuff. Some of these people need to go to jail and pay for their crimes against humanity. It costs a lot more crimes. We're going to point out their names. We talked about Baumgardner here in Knox County, Tennessee. Judge Lanier. Judge Lanier in Tennessee. And let's talk about some other, and also talked about Randy not worth the plug Nichols. Got a building named after that piece of dirt. Former prosecutor. He helped the other prosecutor get elected, Sharman Tissue Allen. And we'll talk about some crimes that she's caused today that still causes death and destruction in the city of Knoxville, in Knox County, where she presides over the destruction of citizens. Sharman Tissue Allen. You won't hear that anywhere else. Let's complain. Sharman Tissue Allen, you ought to prosecute yourself because you're a thief and a crook and a liar. Tammy Hicks. We'll tell you what she did, a prosecutor. Yeah, it doesn't prosecute very well. So we're calling them out by name. You can send them a copy of this, tell them I sent it to them. It's called freedom of speech, First Amendment. It's the truth. I'll go to court and argue what I'm saying is the truth. We're presenting a case against them to stop some of this mass destruction of Tennessee and some of this death, and maybe lower your food prices where we ain't got to pay so much for their mess ups, where they do stuff that costs us money. There's so many people got in here. We'll continue this dialogue. I'll point out a few names. When we get down to the bridge, if we get that far, we're going to do a little statistical test and show you odds and probabilities. So stay tuned. Let's see how many people got on here. We'll continue this dialogue. Crimes of the privilege. We're going after them. We're going after them. I'll tell you how. So yeah, we got 54. Got a few people. Most people still. Let's see. Jails are too full. Should be combat arenas and gladiator combat. I like that. That's a pretty good idea. Therefore, my sisters, let nothing move you. Always give yourself to the work of the Lord, because you are laborious not in vain. Okay, well, I hope my labors. America, be careful. That's right, Dark Mountains. That's right. Why should I subscribe? Sell it to me. Well, because I'm telling you the truth. Jesus is truth in the way. That's right. Jesus is King. Amen. I like those comments about the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm a follower. And if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ in your heart, you ought to do that. You ought to ask Him to forgive you and come into your heart and save you, because there's never going to be a perfect world. So yeah, hit the subscribe. You look like the dad from Roseanne. No, I'm not like him. I'm a little bit thinner than he is. Yeah, okay. Okay, so God still loves me. That's right. Bruno, and I'm a good person. What's wrong with my rainbow status? I don't know. Jesus loves you. That's right, He sure does. He loves me too. I have a brother-in-law that is in Knoxville, detective. Okay, well, not all police are bad. Not all police are bad. That's some of them can't do nothing about it. Stolen valor. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The white collar crimes. So Matt said hi. Hello, Matt. So let's talk about crimes of the privileged. The people that get out of their crimes, and then you got to pay full price. You don't even have to be guilty of a crime. If you stand up against the government crimes, then they'll try to put a on you. So let's talk about the mass fatality rates on Tennessee roadways. The Knox County coroner did a body count of people that were killed in car wrecks, and they do drug testing, which is the most accurate, counting bodies. I mean, you literally count how many bodies are dead and how many of them were in car wrecks. And they do blood alcohol levels of the deceased, find out if they were driving, passing, whatever, or if somebody that was drunk hit them. And the number, put all that information together, and the number of fatal wrecks, this ain't even counting somebody's gas can. This ain't even counting injury, where people are maimed and injured. The number of fatal wrecks on Tennessee roadways has increased 45%. You can look it up, it's in the newspapers. 45% over the last few years here in Knox County. So 45% more bodies on Tennessee roadways due to drunk driving, wrecks, due to people driving under the influence, hitting innocent people and killing themselves. So people in power are responsible, we put them in office, to the police to arrest drunk drivers and the prosecutors to prosecute people that are arrested by police if they're guilty for driving under the influence. And if they're doing that, we'll show you statistically, if we can get down to the bridge, why arrest and prosecution of drunk drivers lowers the fatality rate. We'll show you a little sample test when we get down there. It's a real interesting statistical test. It's science. And we'll explain to you how it works. So if they're doing their jobs like they're elected to do, they're not elected to lie to you. They're not elected to rape women in the courthouse. They're not allowed to sit up there and allow people to be raped in the courthouse. If they're doing their jobs like they're supposed to, the fatality rate shouldn't be climbing every year. Or there's some crimes going on. There's some people that are sworn to uphold the law, that hold their hand over their heart, that are administrating, supervising, directing this mass fatalities. It's like when you're directing traffic. And you're supposed to keep people from wrecking. Instead of keeping people from wrecking, telling one person to stop, the other person to go, you tell both of them to go at the same time, you direct a traffic wreck. These people in public office are directing fatalities, allowing them to take place, causing the fatality rate to skyrocket. Because if they were doing their jobs like they're supposed to, then the fatality rate would lower, because they make roads safer every day. If you look at science and people that build roads, engineers that design roads, every day they're figuring out how to make roads safer. They put new red lights in at dangerous intersections where there's been fatalities. They make roads bigger. They put a rumble strip in roads. They redesign roads and build a better ramp that's designed better every day across the United States of America. In Knoxville, they're redesigning roads, redesigning things to make them wreck-proof, dummy-proof, almost drunk-proof. So there was a ramp up in Campbell County, and I'll tell you about it. But every day they make roads safer. So there should be, at a minimum, fatality rates maybe going up a little bit, but why would they be astronomically skyrocketing? They're making roads safer, but the fatality rate's going up. It's because the people in government power, the affluent, the rich, the privileged that are getting into office are committing crimes against you. They're lying to you, and they have committed a mass crime against you that has resulted in the fatality rate rising here in Knox County, and even endangers themselves. But there is a, I used to call it the drunk ramp up in Campbell County. Now, I reported it, but it was a ramp. It was a ramp that I'd worked a couple of drunk driving wrecks on, because it was a ramp that said no exit, because they had closed the ramp and it put no exit, and they had little rumble things and a half of a little barricade, wooden ones, and it had that were across the road closed, ramp closed, and it had at the end of the ramp, it had maybe less than 50 yards into the ramp, it had a brick wall. And I'd get called up there to wrecks in Campbell County, and drunks would disregard the sign, ramp closed down, disregard the wooden barriers, and they would keep going and slam into the brick wall. That's why I called it the drunk ramp. Both times I worked at it, they were drunk people. The drunk ramp. And I reported, hey, something needs to be done about this, because drunk people are not looking at the sign. They're driving through the wooden barriers and slamming into the wall head on. And that's not funny. None of them were seriously hurt. I talked to them at the hospital. But it was the drunk ramp. I named it the drunk ramp, because drunk people don't pay attention and they have wrecks. But they make roads safer. I bet that ramp up there, that's been 10 years ago or more. I bet they changed it, fixed the ramp where it's a legitimate ramp, or they have redesigned the road where you can't even get off at that exit, where it's very clear, because they make roads safer every day. So why would the fatality rate rise? Look in the newspaper, 45%. It was 35% last year, and it's went up 10% this year. So that's a total in the past 2 years of 45% more death on Tennessee roadways. Even a major with the Highway Patrol was a captain over the Knoxville. Now she's a major over this area that has the power and authority, the means, your tax money. She has your tax money to do things like engineers would do, except for in a different way, in law enforcement manner, to lower the fatality rate. And it could be done. And I'm going to show you at the bridge how it's done. But they don't do that because they're ignorant. They're more worried about their paycheck and getting their family and friends, and more worried about their drunken parties. And they don't do their job. They're criminals. Major Stacey Heatherly. They don't promote people in government, and it's a crime. It's a state crime. It's a badge crime. It's Governor Bill Lee's crime, the Christian governor's crime. And that's how you claim to be an honest person. You say, I'm a Christian, so people will trust me. I don't know his heart, but he certainly doesn't live like a Christian. He promoted somebody from captain to major for lying for him, not for keeping the road safe for you. That drunk captain, she even got hit by a drunk driver. She even created the environment that she could do something about that ended up damaging her. And the way it's framed in the papers is that she's a victim of what, herself? If she is the one that lied on me and got the leading drunk driver arrest her off the road and showed people in the Highway Patrol and all law enforcement agencies, it doesn't matter how well you do your job. That doesn't matter how much you protect society. That's not what the government is about. That's not what we're here for. We're here to maintain our power and our legitimacy. And if you point out anything in the Highway Patrol, and I made complaints against the supervisor, and I also tried to get off the shift because he was trying to do things illegitimately against me and telling me to do things that were dangerous, that would hurt my safety. And I was like, in North Carolina at the food processing plant, I was complaining about it. Hey, there needs to be a door here. I shouldn't be assigned to this station right here. If something catches on fire, I can't get out of here. And I'd tell him that, and he would assign me to stuff dangerous. His name is Lionel Russell. But it's, if you complain, just like if they had complained of that meat processing plant, they would have fired him. That's what they did to me. They lied about stuff and got rid of me while I was in the process of trying to protect one of the drunk drivers, a dangerous person. If you're in and around bad stuff that happens with drunk drivers, that doesn't mean you're responsible for it. That's like in a war. If you're in a war fighting evils that's trying to take over a country, you're going to be in and around bullets. You're going to be in and around killing. That doesn't mean you're causing it. It means that you're where you're supposed to be. If you're stateside, like Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali avoiding the draft, they'll give you a presidential medal of peace because you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing. Isn't that a crock? Sunbitten soldiers that were where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing, got spit on when they come back. And that's what I feel like. I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, protecting society. When I was out on the road, the fatality rate wasn't up 45%. It was on the way down, because I put about 150 people in jail every year for drunk driving, for their own safety, health, protection, and well-being, and for the public safety, health, protection, and well-being, and because I seen little children dead, hurt, and injured. And I've told y'all stories about that. So I was trying to keep the fatality rate down. As a Christian, that was my duty, to use the government to do what I could to protect people. And that's exactly what I did. But a supervisor came from Nashville at Internal Affairs, friends with Stacey Heatherly. She said he was her girlfriend, and started making me do stuff that was dangerous. Started making complaints about me, trying to lower my evaluations, telling me you want to get promoted, and worrying about the time sheet more than the fatality rate, and got promoted from a politician. And I complained about it. I complained about it through their procedure, but their procedure to complain is a crooked procedure. It's a criminal conspiracy procedure. I didn't know it at the time, but their procedure to complain is a procedure to know, just like in North Carolina, we need the fire escapes open. They'll fire you because they know who might report it to other authorities outside of North Carolina. So they fire you and say that you're the one that locked the fire exit and get rid of you, lie on you. So their complaint procedure is set up to get rid of people that are for public safety and stand up for what's right. Just like another state trooper, Marty Nix, complained about sexual harassment. We're talking about crimes of the privilege and how they cover it up because they're in power. They use their power illegitimately, not for your safety. They're damaging to your safety. Marty Nix complained about sexual harassment. A lady in the highway patrol complained to him and another trooper that she was being sexually harassed by administrative lieutenant. And I'll finish that story. We'll get down to the bridge. Somebody see what people I got on here. Talking about crimes of the rich affluent, the untouchables. Do more damage than street criminals. Do more damage than you can do. Because they affect, with their power and influence, they affect thousands and thousands of people. People get killed because of what they do. And it's much more damaging financially, and we need to do something about it. One thing we can do about it is vote. Power to you, the people movement. Voters of Tennessee, enraged, vote. That's what VOTE stands for. Voters of Tennessee, enraged. Or if we get into office, voters of Tennessee, encouraged. Or wherever you're at. Power to you, the people in other countries. So we'll tell you about Marty Nix, do a little study, do a little experiment when we get down to the bridge. I'm going to show you something statistically about odds and probability. Might help you out. And we'll get down to the bridge. Like, share, comment, and if you subscribe, hit the like button so I know how many subscribers I got. I hope to get over 1,000 today. I don't know. Tried yesterday, stayed on for almost 3 hours. We might stay on longer today, I don't know, depending on how much battery life we got. Thank y'all for joining me. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. You won't hear this anywhere else. You won't hear truthful information about people in power because people are afraid of them. And to a certain degree, I am too. To a certain degree. And I try to protect myself. One way to protect myself is for you to subscribe, for you to like, and for you to listen and do some of the things that can protect me, because the more people that hear my story and your story, the more difficult it is for them to do something bad to me. I know they'd like to kill me. Oh, you don't doubt it for just a second. They'd like for me to be 6 foot underground because they don't want people to know the truth about them. They don't want people to know that these privileged people in our government, in power, crimes of the privilege, are much more dangerous to you, and I'll point them out by name, than your average street criminal. They're more dangerous than you could ever be. And we need to fix that. Sociology books. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not hocus pocus, me making up stuff. Sociology books. Pick up any criminology sociology book. It's mainstream sociology. You look at any book, it'll tell you about crimes of the privileged and how much damage they are and what we need to do to correct it. And it's not been corrected since the books I've read in the early 2000s. So I'm the only one to tell you that. And I'm doing it to protect the public, to protect you all. And hopefully, maybe we can get in power and get somebody else in power to institute a crime of privileged unit prosecutor to make sure these people know that when you go do your mass crimes, when you don't have fire extinguishers, when you don't have the fire exits open at your meat processing plants, that when people complain about stuff, they're not going to be punished for it. And when you don't do that kind of stuff, you're gonna be punished for it, and we're gonna look into it ahead of time to detect this stuff before people are killed. Allow people a mechanism to make legitimate complaints. And we'll talk about Marty Nix when I get back on here. So many comments we got. Thank y'all for joining. Hit the subscribe button. And if you can, contribute. I have had a few contributions. I get tired of asking because people aren't contributing. But subscribe if you can. So hit the Cash App and the square icon. Keep this channel going, where you'll hear unbridled real truth about the real criminals in the United States, probably the real criminals in the country you're in. And I know for a fact, I've seen it close up and personal with my own 4 eyes, because I wear glasses, in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I'm at. So we'll check and finish the story about Trooper Marty Nix, how crimes of the affluent that he reported got him fired. So let me read some of the comments. Stay with me. We'll do that test when we get to the bridge, I promise. So if you're interested to find out what it is, hang on here with me. Run up my views, and also best way to get views for me to have good content. And I've worked on this content for a long time. So hopefully it'll be some very important, scientific, interesting stuff. And I'll tell you a little bit about Marty Nix's story. Let me see how many people got on here. Hang in here with us. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you all very much for tuning into the channel. Let's see, views are down. 15 likes. You gotta be in your bed. There's some of these people saying hi. I have a brother. Oh, okay. Well, you already said that. Don't let them silence you. We have your back. Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate that. Who said that? I appreciate that. Burris. Gaza just imploded. Looks like a cannon. Sorry I have to go to Halls right now. Okay. All right, I understand that for work. I understand that, Alan Poe. Joe Bro built like orange. Okay. John Crook said hi. Okay. All right, I understand you got to go to work. Thank you for coming on in. Thank y'all for joining me. Appreciate the dialogue. So let's talk about Trooper Marty Nix. Somebody reported sexual harassment to him. A lady did. Such as sexually harassed by a supervisor at Highway Patrol, and he even lowered her evaluations, said sexual things to her. on a job in the State Highway Patrol. So he called, and he knows that if you report a supervisor, administrative lieutenant with the Highway Patrol, that you'll probably get in trouble. He's the one that signs off on everything you go through. And there's a general order that requires troopers to report misconduct, sexual harassment, and you can do it anonymously. And so he didn't want to get in trouble, but he's concerned about that lady getting sexually harassed by the supervisor. She's got to stay there all day, and administrative lieutenant. So he reports it to the hotline anonymously, where they can look into it, because you can report it anonymously, and he's under a duty to report it. The other trooper didn't report it, but nothing happened to him, of course. So you just overlook the doors locked. You just overlook at the courthouse Baumgardner raping women. Just overlook it, because if you'd said anything about it before it happened, you might end up behind bars yourself. Powerful judge, crimes of the privilege. People fear these people. People feared the giant, didn't they? Well, I got a damn rock, and they think they're hunting me. We'll finish the story about Marty Nix. I like to tell you this story now. Clint Eastwood, a lot of people know him. Now, I grew up when he was in the heart of his movie making. His movies are still popular this day, like Gunsmoke. So, Josie Wells, the Outlaw, they had a posse got together, and they were out looking for Josie Wells. Y'all like this story, don't you? If you've heard it before. They were out looking for Josie Wells, getting a posse together. Bill was, and he walks into the bar where they're at. He walks past his friend Ned, who's dead. They killed him, tortured him, put him on the front porch in a rocking chair of the bar. And they're out looking for Josie Wells. Clint Eastwood, he walks right into the bar where they're looking for him. So they're looking for me. I'm walking right into the damn bar where they're at. Who's chasing who? See, they don't know the business. They don't know the business. I tell you the business. I learned how to fight from a child. You're not chasing me. I'm chasing you. Legally and legitimately with votes, not with any violence. I'm just telling you about the movie. So Josie Wells goes in there where they're getting a posse together. They don't need no damn posse. He's coming right in there in the middle of them. They're thinking about going out and searching for him. He just walks right in there, guns a-blazing, and he said, "Who's the owner of this shithole?" And the guy, they point out the bartender, and he says he is in it. Clint Eastwood fires at him, hits him, kills him. And they tell him, "You just shot an unarmed man." That's his famous line. Clint Eastwood says he should have armed himself before he decorated his bar with my friend Ned. So Clint Eastwood killed him because he had his friend Ned outside the door of the bar. And that incited him, so he killed him. And then Bill said, "You're Josie Wells, killed men, women, and children." And he was getting a posse together to look for him. He didn't have to look for him. Who was hunting who? Josie Wells said, "That's right. I've killed men, women, and children. Now I'm here to kill you." So we're walking right into the hotbed of these privileged psychos that are out getting a posse together for us that are crooks. We're walking right into the middle of them, and we're here to vote them out. We ain't running nowhere. So I'm just saying, I like that story. It shows bravery and what we're about. We're not running from them. We're looking for them. They just don't know it. They thought I was running. So Marty Nix complains through the appropriate procedure anonymously. He's trying to protect himself. I don't blame him. About sexual harassment from a lieutenant, a supervisor. You know, somebody who was privileged, a lot of privilege, or they wouldn't have got promoted. And Attorney Deborah Martin takes a call in Nashville. A crooked attorney, Deborah Lyon Martin, was a prosecutor in my case that took my complaint against Lionel Russell. So she takes the complaints and then tries to get you fired. That's how they do. If you say, hey, it's endangering me for this safety door to be locked, the fire exit, it's endangering everybody in here. The door ought to be open. Oh, she'll take the call and then leave the door locked and get rid of you and whoever else complains. That's her job. That's a complaint procedure. Go through the court system, sue one of the people in the in the state government. Find out what happens to you. You'll be found guilty. They'll countersue and the judge will decide in their favor. That's how bad it is. So, we're talking about a trooper that reported what was reported to him from the horse's mouth. Sexual harassment, trying to protect himself the smart way. And then, Attorney Deborah Martin Institute finds out who made the call through the number on the check tracing the call, finds out who it was, Marty, and they bring him into internal affairs, and he admits that he made the call, explains, he's just trying to protect himself. So they institute termination procedures on him because they said there was no sexual harassment. Well, 2 troopers knew about it, and even if there wasn't, he still was under the obligation to report to him to report it. That's what the investigation team's for, but they won't even let you. They won't even let you. Do what? I'm good, thank you. They won't even let you try. They won't even let you report stuff. That reporting system is for them to attack you. Just keep your damn mouth shut. Don't even go vote. We will get you. Yeah, let's walk right in the middle of them. Show them the business. We're not running from anybody. You best be running. Uncle Bill, the bill ended up on his back, not Clint Eastwood. And we're not violence, that's just a movie. To illustrate a point, and I don't want to be taken off YouTube because I'm telling you about a movie. Nonviolent voting, and also, we can be a little noisy, don't break any laws, but you can stand up and you don't have to go along with the program. So many people got in here, and I finished a story about Marty Nix. So they institute termination procedures for him for following the damn general order. That's what they did. I'm telling you, I know firsthand. I worked there with Marty Nix. He kept the fatality rate down like me. He was the #1 traffic enforcer for years and years. He got injured almost in a high-speed pursuit where somebody wouldn't stop and the car ended up slamming on top of his car, risked his life for this state, and report sexual harassment, and they institute termination proceedings against him, said it was a false complaint. It wasn't a false complaint, that's a dirty lie. He contested it, just like me, but you go before their dirty judge, good luck with that. But he ended up getting a judge that at the administrative level that ruled in his favor and ordered him back to work. Said that he didn't do anything wrong. And even trying to back up the state and giving him a month off without pay so the state wouldn't get mad at the judge, because you can't back up the employee or the judge will get in trouble. It's a dirty system, a system of the privileged against the populace, against you. I mean, I've seen it firsthand, this dirty state. Let's see how many people got in here and I'll finish the story. So we got about 40. So come on in, hit the like button, share and subscribe. Let's see if our volume's on. Can y'all hear me? I hope you can. Or maybe chemicals. Okay. So he gets termination instituted against him, hires an attorney, has to hire an attorney, spends a lot of money, goes through the administrative proceeding. The administrative appeals used to be the employee rights, and it was employee right to appeal a termination, and now they've changed it to the Board of Appeals. They even changed the name to act like you're in jail and you're appealing like a criminal. Board of Appeals. It used to be employee rights appeal, but now they changed the terminology to make it seem like an appeal is a Board of Appeals, like you're a criminal, and changed it, the original name, which was more in the name of a pro-employee, helping them try to get their job back. State jobs used to be secure till they found out if they want you gone, they want to do it easy like that. Doesn't matter that you're protecting lives on Tennessee roadways. It matters that you're not backing up the brass, backing up the hierarchy in their crimes. That's what it's about. I'm telling you, this ain't hocus pocus. This ain't conspiracy theories. Pick up a criminology textbook, sociology, a modern one today, and you'll find these conflict theory and under crimes of the privilege, and you'll read the same things I'm telling you. I'm just pointing out specific circumstances. So Marty appeals and he got his job back. And a judge ordered him back to work. It was the same judge that was assigned to my case when I had an appeal. They randomly assign the judges. Just at random, pick a judge so it's not biased. Who's ever next on the list, and assign them to your case if you're trying to appeal your job in administrative court hearing. They randomly assigned the same judge that they assigned to him. They gave him his job back when they wrongly terminated me, and for reporting misconduct. And they reassigned the judge because they knew, hey, this judge is a fair judge. And they reassigned a dirty judge, Judge Lefevre, the dirty crook that he is, that put it the weight of law on perjury, allowed Deborah Martin to have her client commit perjury, allowed her to help the judge, her sergeant, commit perjury. Put in, the Judge Lefevre even made up his own evidence, added evidence that wasn't even there. Put a tail light out on the car there's no tail light on the car. Even an eyewitness on the scene said there wasn't. Said you couldn't see anything, but he added a tail light. So the judges even added evidence against you. That's what these Tennessee judges do. If they don't have the gun with their fingerprints on it, these Tennessee judges will say his thumbprints on the gun, even though it wasn't there. They'll make it up. Write it in their illegitimate court rulings, so people think, well, the judge said his son was on the crimes of the privilege, while they're in the back hallways getting drugs off prostitutes and raping them, doing whatever they want to do. That's what crimes of the privilege do. You don't think it's that bad? It's because it's underreported. Well, I'm here reporting it to you. Unbridled news journalism happens every day. It's happening today. More wrecks on Tennessee roadways because of crooks in power. I'm about to show you down at the bridge a statistical experiment. I brought some stuff here, brought a quarter and a thumbtack. I'll show you about odds and probability. So the state appealed Marty Nick's termination, and because they got plenty of money, so Marty Nix had to stay off the job. And if he'd have won his appeal through the appeals court, Chancery Court, that's supposed to be fair, but the Chancery Court judge is will rule for the governor, so that her family can get promoted, because it's the governor that's terminating your job, the governor's highway patrol, the Christian lying, dirty, transvestite governor. And that's a Christian that approved an abortion pill. You won't hear this anywhere else. It's the truth. Look it up. It's in the papers. Nobody else points it out. They're afraid to. They high heel, Governor. We're afraid of you. I'm not afraid of him. I'm going right into his little drunken party that he's at. I'm here to vote him out. He's term limited. I ran against him before and passed out thousands and thousands of leaflets all over the state with his name on it, calling him out for his corruption, for his crimes, for his dirty stench. You know, and he's even got a plumber's butt. I'm just saying. You know, he got promoted. He got governor because he's friends with Bill Haslam, the money bought it. Crimes of the privilege. He's a criminal, ought to be in jail. And so Marty Nix appeals it. The appeals court overturns administrative judge's decision and keeps him terminated. He appealed to the Tennessee Supreme Court, which is the court that's appointed by the governor. The governor, you know, fired this guy. We don't know what happens in back hallways, but I know the results. I know what happens. In their back hallways, the governor says, no, don't get him back to work. And they'd be like, well, he's innocent. Don't put him back to work. You want to keep your job, feed your family, do what I tell you to do. I am God. I am Bill Lee. I am Bill Haslam. I'm Christian. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I am David. I'm Charles Van Morgan. Governor Bill Lee. And I come in here to show how lack of credibility you have. You want to say I got lack credibility issues? No, you do. You do. When I was on the road, the fatality rate Tennesseans weren't getting killed like they are now under you, you Christian dirtbag. And God, let me do this. I love doing this. God's not going to judge me for speaking against self-proclaimed Christian Bill Lee. God's not on Bill Lee's side. He's a dirtbag. He's a crook. He's a criminal. He's a thief. He lied to you to get in office. Deceived the churches. Some people in churches weren't even deceived. They just voted for him because he done them favors. Let me show you. You say, oh, you speak out against Christian Governor Bill Lee, God will strike you with lightning. Let me look around. Let's look around. Y'all see any lightning? I love doing this. You see any lightning? Oh, I'm scared to death lightning's going to hit me. Yeah, woo, I'm scared. Not lightning ain't going to hit me for speaking the truth to power. Speaking the truth. Lightning wouldn't hit those people in North Carolina at the meat processing plant if they'd have complained about the doors being locked. And 25 of them wouldn't have been killed. I'm not saying it's their fault. There's things more important than worrying about your job. Worrying about people's lives is more important than that. And you might just get killed anyway. I might get killed by a drunk driver because they're not doing their jobs on the roads in Tennessee. So let me see how many people got on here. We're almost to the bridge. We're doing a little scientific study. Look at the roads backed up because of the government. They got one street open. Let me see how many people got in here. We'll turn the camera around and answer some questions and speak to the community. Thank y'all for joining me. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. We're almost to over 1,000 views. And contribute. Hit the square icon. Chip in $1. Chip in $1,000. Chip in 100,000. Do what you can. Get this message out. Get this sociological journalist statewide. We'll tear them up. We'll march right into their little drunken party while they're out looking for us. And tell them we're going to vote them out. They'd like to kill me. I'm not killing anybody. I'm telling you the truth. Presenting my case to you, the jury, to dismantle their credibility. And it's not hard to do. They're not credible people. Crimes of the privilege. So let me get past this fan here. And we will continue the dialogue. There's a little experiment down here. So hold on. Hold on for a little experiment. Hello. So here I am. So hold on for a little experiment. This is the other side of the phone. I can see your question, sir. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do what to myself? Don't march into their drunken party. Well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. A fellow of mine got assaulted nightfall last night. Man who assaulted him came back into work. Tell me how that is right. Yeah, it's not right. Don't let him assault you. Defend yourself. It says, well, I hear you loud and clear. We hear you loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Or maybe channels. Okay. So we're going to show you this little experiment, and we'll keep it a little bit short today. We're about to get the heck off here, unless we get a whole bunch of people. So we got 25 likes. Every time I get a like, I'm going to assume that I got to subscribe. So let me see another subscriber and hit the like button, go up to 26, and I may jump. And yeah. So and then I'm going to show you some. I got a bunch of papers here in my back pocket to explicate some stuff. Not to get run over by a car crossing this road down here at the bridge. We'll show you the beautiful sight, the beautiful view. I had a friend of mine tell me that while you're doing your live stream, why don't you show the view, show the sunrise? So I will show the beautiful sunrise, and we're going to do this little experiment with a quarter and a thumbtack to illustrate odds and probability, to illustrate the law of large term numbers. The other day we did it, but we just had a quarter. Today we got a thumbtack, and we'll show you how it works. So yeah, we got 27. So we had 25, maybe we got 2 new subscribers. Thank y'all so very much. God bless y'all. Show you the view and then get right into our experiment. Talking about crimes of privilege, how they get out of their crimes, how we're fighting the hell out of them, telling you to vote against them. So we'll go right across the bridge here and show you the view. Come on in, Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Like, share, comment, subscribe. So it might be a few more days at this pace that we get new subscribers. So let's get 27 people in here and 27 likes. So, okay. So let's see the beautiful view here across the bridge. Let me turn this on. So let me see if the subscribers go up and show you the view. And then we'll do our experiment. Hang on in here for the experiment. The probability show. So let's turn this around. And we'll show you all the beautiful view here of the Gay Street Bridge, 1898. That's where Baumgartner was raping women from the courthouse there. Crime of privilege. And here's not this Saturday, but the next Saturday over there at that stadium is going to be a big football game. Go Vols. There's Calhoun's on the river. That's where drunken monkey Stacy Heatherly called the taxi, a trooper, to come pick her up because she was there drunk during a football game, got a ride by a trooper, called a trooper off the road. Crime of privilege. Didn't even get much of a punishment. Now she's major. Lord knows what she's doing now. So there you go. There's the view, there's the sunlight, that's the crooked building. And if you think about that building right there, see that building? Right there. Tell people not to point out point. Okay, that building right there is where they had Judge Baumgartner raping women, like Judge Lanier raping women in the courthouse, but Baumgartner was also taking their drugs. Lanier was let them keep their children for illicit sexual relations with him, blackmail. I mean, they're so sick. They're sick people. And Judge Baumgartner was raping women in his courthouse, taking drugs off of them, getting their drugs. And if you had tried to stop that, you'd have tried to stop the rape of a woman at the courthouse, then you would have got stopped by a Knox County Sheriff's deputy. They wouldn't let you stop a rape. They would have, because you can't stop a judge. You know, they won't let you hurt one of them rapists. So they would have stopped you from raping, stopping a judge from raping a woman. You know, that happened in Kentucky not long ago. That's the allegation that's been made. So that these judges are protected in their illicit conduct by our tax dollars. So we're actually a part of it. It's our responsibility to vote these people out. Randy Nichols had to know about it. Randy Nichols dismissed hundreds of drunk driving cases, causing the fatality rate in Knox County to skyrocket to this day. His successor, Sharma Tissue Allen, is at the courthouse now. And look at this traffic here. Show you how backed up this is. And she is continuing the trend. She worked at the courthouse too. Tammy Hicks was on the news bragging about dismissing drunk driving cases, because they probably dismissed some of their lawyer attorney kids cases that I arrested, that tried to thought better about, but tried to attack me in the back hallway because I arrested their children for drunk driving. Some of the attorneys. Randy Nichols bragged on the Knoxville bar. There's some good attorneys in the Knoxville bar. Most of them are full of crap. They're double agents. So we'll do this experiment here. But Marty Nixon ended up not getting his job back. The administrative judge that they appointed for my case was the same as his, and they were concerned that he'd give me my job back too, because I didn't do anything wrong. So they reappointed a judge. So that's how they do. They just rig the system to where they win every time. If they don't like the referee's going to call it fair. They get a referee that'll lie for them, and then they promote the referee that lied for them. They trade promotions for lies. If you lie for them, you'll get promoted. So the people at the top are the most privileged and the worst liars and the most crooks at the top of the organizations. In state government, state crimes of the privileged notoriously get out of crimes. So we're going to read some of this stuff and do this experiment I got here. Let's see how many people got in here. We'll do the court experiment. So we got 42. Pointing is an old thing. Can't help it. Watch out, one drug. Yeah, okay. And then somebody called from another language. Yeah, I'm American. Okay, so here we go here. I want to point this out. Now, I'm not saying all these people are white-collar criminals. Some of them are. Some of them are white-collar criminals. But here's their witness list. Testified against me. Some of them didn't even face me. They took depositions and they swore under oath and lied about stuff under oath. They didn't even have to face me. But here's Deborah Martin, who's the attorney. They got Marty Nix fired and got me fired because we filed a legitimate complaint through her, and they use it to complain on you. The best way to beat them is at the voting booth. Here's people that make the road more dangerous to this day. Trooper Christopher Dye. Now, I think he was just caught in a bad situation, but he's a witness. These are witness lists that have made your roads more dangerous. Now, I think he had to testify because they made him. Trooper James Filler, a dirty liar, lied about stuff. And Kerry Barton designee, the human resource, DA Randy Nichols, lied on me. He's a dirtbag liar, has a building named after him. Crime of the privilege, Randy Nichols. Not worth the plug, Nichols, what I like to call him. Said stuff about me. He said stuff about me that was false. He knew it was false. And then he said, but I can't say that. That's not true. Took it back. So he's trying to ring the bell. In legal terms, that's ringing the bell. Letting the jury hear it and then taking it back. So you might just hear the first part where he said it. What a dirty man that is. What a dirty man he is. Accused me of some sick stuff that none of it is true, that I'm not even going to repeat, that he's probably guilty of. Gaslighting is saying stuff that you're probably guilty of. So he's probably guilty of some of the sick stuff that never came up before it came out of his dirty mouth. And then he said that, but that's not true though, it was somebody else. But he had to say it, didn't he? See how dirty these people are? Trying to frame you, trying to brand you. He is a white-collar state criminal. And even after he retired from the DA's office, his successor, he helped her get elected, Sharma Tissue Allen, that was there at the courthouse when all this was going on. That's a thug. And the sheriff hired him to work in the sheriff's department. So he got a check from the county, Knox County, retiring as DA. Made sure I didn't get my law license. Then he got a job, and then the Knox County Sheriff hired him. You know, crimes of the privilege. They don't get in prison for their crimes. They get more jobs, live more off your tax money. That's how dirty this system is. We need a special investigator's office after we get in power to eliminate some of this public corruption. It's so sickening, so deadly to you. Fatality rate is skyrocketed, and it did under him. And then let's look at this. Mr. Pollock, what a dirtbag liar. J.G. Pollock, Ph.D. Human factors expert. So they had to hire an expert to pay him with your tax money, and he's not even an expert. Never studied perception reaction in police pursuits. They hired an expert in law school, 101. You can hire an expert, say whatever you want to. We got the trainer from the Highway Patrol that studies perception reaction, Bruce Siddle. The Highway Patrol uses his expertise, and we got him to look over the video of the pursuit, and he said I did nothing wrong. So they had to hire another expert to lie, and that's what they did. And Stacey Heatherly used that expert, and he literally said his analysis was this J. Pollock, this dirtbag scum that's responsible for hundreds of people to this day dying on Tennessee roadways. If you've had one of your family members killed by a drunk driver, these are people to blame. They took me off the road, sent a message to other officers, don't arrest drunk drivers, they'll get you fired for that. Do as little as you can. That's what officers tell me. They're responsible for the catastrophe on Tennessee roadways. Suit crime, crimes of the privileged. They get by with it, cause much more damage to public safety, to safety, health, protection, and well-being than any private thug criminal does. So that's just the truth. They paid him a lot of your tax money to come down here, held him up in a hotel room to lie, and his analysis was, get this is what he testified to. It's in his brief, testified under oath, that you can see better in the dark than you can in the day. Now, think about that. That's what he testified to under oath. You know, yeah. And he could testify that because they got the judge bought and paid for. You know, they're a reassigned judge. So these are people testified against me. White collar criminals, not all of them, some of them had to testify to keep their job. Look at this, Major Cheryl Sanders, Dirtbag Sanders, Major Sanders. She literally said that I released the video to the news media, and I downloaded it into the office in the computer where I didn't have, and there was a supervisor with me that watched me download. I had no access to that after that. There's no way I could have. They knew that. They had Flying Laurel Russell had a supervisor following me like I was going to hide something. I didn't hide a damn thing, Laurel Russell. You hide stuff, you dirty thug creep. You and your sorry ass brother got promoted because he's your brother. Does nothing for public safety, you sick individuals. Cause the fatality rate to skyrocket. Run around, smile at everybody instead of handing out tickets and putting cuffs on people for their drunken driving. So Major Sanders alleged that I released the video. I might have released it to the news, but I didn't release no video to the newspaper, to the news. It came out the next day, and the news didn't even say nothing bad about it. The trooper drove past the wreck off the road, can't see it, didn't see it. Until Stacey Heatherly, the one that released it, said, oh no, he's seen the wreck. Put that in their narrative. Yeah, you dirty, lying major, theft of valor, stealing military people's valor, working while you're not fit for duty. You won't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. White collar criminals, suit crime, crimes of the privilege, cause more social harm. She took the leading DUI arrester off the road. You know what they did for her? After Major Cheryl Sanders took me off the road, I was making more drunk driving arrests than anybody in the state. And I'll show you odds of probability here in just a minute. Show you why that matters. The fatality rate skyrocketed. more people got killed on Tennessee roadways. They took the leading trooper off the road and also sent a message out. Don't arrest people for drunk driving. That ain't gonna do you no good. Get you fired like Van. You heard what happened to him, didn't it? And experts will tell you, you can talk to experts about fire and about perception reaction. They'll tell you, I didn't see that wreck. I seen it as a parked car. And she raised the fatality rate. They gave her the Knoxville district, after she lied, because she lied for the colonel, they gave her the District of the Year award that year that she lied and raised the fatality rate. See how they do? They frame things. They branded her good District of the Year that year that more people got killed because they lied and got the leading trooper on the road. So whenever they're giving out awards, that's probably the dirtiest person. The people they fire might be the best people. I'm just saying that's the truth, because people in power are dangerous to you. It's crimes of the privilege. Cheryl Sanders is a dirtbag liar. She showed the video not to my supervisor the next day. This is all stuff under oath. She didn't show the video to my supervisor the next day. She showed the video to Major Stacy, it was Sergeant Stacy Headley. Sergeant Stacy Headley wasn't even my supervisor. What she's doing, showing the video all around. They getting off on watching somebody dead. That was very horrific. They're sick people. Sergeant Headley wasn't my supervisor. She admits it under oath. She wasn't my supervisor at the time. Why is the captain showing the video to Major Stacy Headley? Probably because she's out smoking a cigarette back behind the department, and they're gossiping. That's how they make their decisions in the highway patrol. That affects your life statewide, and she's still doing it. She's still a major. Sticking her little nasty finger in my face. I ain't got to take your little nasty finger now, Major Headley. You better stay the hell away from me. I got every damn right to defend myself. You got that? And you and your nasty husband on my Facebook page every day. Keep on and watching. We'll keep on and singing and tell the truth. So you thought I was running. I'm right in the middle of y'all. And I'm not going anywhere. We're going to get people to vote and vote you dirtbags out of office. The governor and your butt ought to go to jail for the mass fatalities on Tennessee roadways. Look at this idiot, Lieutenant Kim Ogle. Lieutenant Kimberly Ogle. Yeah. I used to be a field training officer. I could have taught people how to do what I did and keep the fatality rate down. She got over, the field training officer, after Major Stacy Headley took over. It used to be Captain Headley, or Captain Sanders. And she took the field training officer away from me, gave it from people that didn't do anything, didn't do diddly. Gave it to her, gave it to one of her buddies that got suspended for sexual harassing a just turned 18-year-old girl that, while he was in uniform at the Sevier County Courthouse. Gave field training officer, because it's their little group, you know. Lieutenant Kim Ogle, she retired as captain. You know, you lie for them, you get promoted. Took field training away from me, gave it to people that didn't do anything. She used the state patrol to help one of her friends steal money from Sevier County people. Lieutenant Kimberly Ogle, how you doing? You lying dirtbag? I'm still here. Yeah, 500 people, 1,000 people are listening to me talk about what a piece of dirt you are. Oh, you endangered society. You real proud of yourself? I'm proud of myself. I'm right in the middle coming to you're looking for me, hell. Sergeant Stacy Headley, what a dirtbag. It's now Major. So you get promoted after I reported that she's still in Valor with the Highway Patrol's emblem. They promote her. So they don't care about what you say, what you think. The only way they're going to care is if you vote them out. Don't do any violence to them. Vote these dirtbags out of office. Sergeant Andy Shelton. What a dirtbag. What a dirtbag. Let's see how much clock it. Yeah. What a dirtbag. Here, we'll turn the light on. What a dirtbag. Andy, he lied. He said that I said, that's gonna be the car, quoted me like Attorney Deborah Martin That's not what I said. I said that's probably going to be. They change what you say and give it to the judge. Violate the rules of professional responsibility, give false information to the judge. And they got their law license, but I don't. How's that work out? Crimes of the privileged. Shannon Binkley. No, I don't know. He testified. Sergeant Terrell Johnson. Now, he testified against me. He was asked in the hearing, he swore under oath. He said, my attorney said, no, y'all were real hard on him. He said, no, we weren't. In the interview, Sergeant Ron Conkle said, we know we've been real difficult, real hard on you. So he just lied right there under oath. Yeah, they were. They did everything they could to try to waterboard me almost. But you didn't get anywhere then. You ain't getting anywhere today. The truth matters, dirtbags. You all are dangerous to public safety, health protection, and well-being. So Terrell Johnson lied under oath. He said he showed me the video before their interrogation. You can tell from the transcript that's a lie under oath. My attorney even asked him that. So you sit here today and you say that you and Charles Van Morgan sat down and watched that video and he admitted to you that there's fire on the car. Me and him never sat down. That's a lie under oath, my attorney. And he said, yes, that happened. So he lied under oath. That's called perjury. You go to jail. If you do it in the highway patrol in the state of Tennessee, you go to captain, you go to major. So you get promoted for your crimes against humanity. He helped them take me off the road. That's why the fatality rate today is 45% higher. They did it. Crimes of the privileged do more harm than a street criminal. That's science, not hocus pocus. Get you a criminology book. 2025, sociology, you'll read the same thing. It's not hocus pocus. So these are some of those are white collar criminals. White collar criminals. And let me show you some of this stuff. We're about to get off here. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Keep this channel going. Sociology expert. That's what the University of Tennessee says I am. So I know from a context of how social forces affect people's behavior, and a journalist. So I've got a little more knowledge than a journalist does. So many people got in here. Here's my award I got for arresting more drunk drivers than anybody in the state, keeping the fatality rate down. And then I'll do my little study. Here's a cider fighter is what I call her. Hey, cider fighter, administrator who backs up sexual harassment, sexual pervert, and lies on trooper in harm's way was protecting the public. So she lied on me while sitting in the safety of an office. That's cider fighter. And she's the one that watched the video with Major Stacy Heatherly now. They said I didn't use the fire extinguisher correctly. Now, I'm not a fireman. I aimed it at the right place sometimes it didn't. I was trying to put the fire out. It's not a job of perfection. It's trying to put the fire out. And the general order doesn't even say I have to get out of the car and use a fire extinguisher. It's called the fire department. That's because they don't want to make troopers go up and use a fire extinguisher, because you're talking about a car with a gas tank. They can't order you to go up to the car and get blown up. I did that out of the goodness of my heart because I wanted to save somebody's life. I didn't even have to aim the fire extinguisher any damn where. But see, they make that up. But if you do use it, you got to use it appropriately and correctly, and I did, trying to put the fire out. Even endangered my own life. And it doesn't say that if you do use it, you got to use it appropriately. I was trying to put the fire out. They lied about that. And here's the orchestrator of this stuff. This piece of shit. I'm a better man than him because he's the one that gave her an award for District of the Year after they raised the fatality rate. And I'm a better man than him. I'm not going to dox him. He doxed me and my children. He told the news media where I live. They came to my house. Went to my son's school, but I'm not like him. I don't want him to get hurt. I'm not that kind of person. They do. They don't care. They want me to get hurt, and they want the public to get hurt. They don't care. They don't care about nobody but getting his big retirement and still having his hand in the state government. You know, and still keeping power. So let's see here. We'll do our little experiment. Talk to you about why making drunk driving arrests matters. So let's get this. Here's the tack, and here's the quarter. And here's why this matters. Now you can, because the odds of probability, the odds of a quarter landing heads or tails is 50%. So it's got odds of 50% land on heads and 50% tails. So if you flip it, half the time it'll be heads and half the time tails, right? But it's not necessarily that all the time. So let's flip the quarter. So let's flip the quarter and see what it lands up on. Okay. It landed up on tails. No, it landed up on heads, I think. But landed on heads. Okay. Flip it again. It was, let's clean it off a little bit. Yeah, it landed on heads. Landed on heads. So we'll clean it off. Let's flip it again. Still 50-50 odds. So that time it landed on tails. So let's flip it again. So 50-50. Heads one time, tails one time. So let's flip it again. Okay, this time it landed on heads. So we got 2 heads and 1 tail. Let's flip it again. We got 3 heads. 3 heads and 1 tail. 3 heads and 1 tail. So even though it's 50-50, we got 3 heads and 1 tail. So you would think that the odds are not 50-50. They're 30-10 or whatever the percentage is. More likely to end up on heads. But that's not true, because the law of large numbers says that in the long run, an event will happen as often as it's supposed to, according to its probability. So the probability is heads and tails. So if you flip this enough times, it will be about 50% heads and 50% tails. If you flip it enough times, that's the way it'll work out. It'll be very close to 50-50 if you keep flipping enough times, because the odds are even. That's how you increase the odds of something, is you increase or decrease the odds of something. So a tack is not 50-50. It's got a point side and it's got a flat side. So the odds are different if you flip a tack. The odds are more likely that it'll land on the back side than it'll land on the point side, because it's more likely, it's, I think, 60-40. So let's flip the tack and see what happens with the tack. Okay, we see it landed on the back side. So flip it again. And we're going to get to a point here, we'll flip it again. Okay, it landed on the back side. Back side. Okay, now we flip the tack and land on the point side. You can see the point down. Didn't land on the back side, land on the point side. So the odds of a tack are different than the odds of a tail, a quarter, because it's not 50-50. It's more likely that it'll end up on the back side than it'll end up on the point side. It's easier for it to hit the back than the front. The odds are different. That's like drunk driving arrest. If you want an event to happen, then you make the probability of it happening more likely. If you don't want an event to happen, then you make the probability less likely to happen. Like drunk drivers on the road. The state alleges they don't want drunk drivers on the road. So one of the ways to stop drunk driving is to take them off the road. Makes it less likely for wrecks to happen overall. You're lowering the probability. Got one off the road. So you make it a little more lopsided in the favor, like the tack, that it's not going to happen. Although it still might, maybe just not as frequently. Because the law of large term numbers said that an event will happen as often as it's supposed to according to its probability. So if you want less killing on the road, one way to do it is a lot of drunk driving arrest. Gives a better probability that it won't happen. That's what they did when they took me off the road. They increased, and when they took Marty Nix off the road, they increased the probability of drunk drivers to kill you. They increased the probability instead of lowering it. So hit like, share, comment. We're going to get off here. I'm going to read you some things that will encourage you, hopefully. So we'll talk some more tomorrow about crimes of the privileged, crimes of the affluent, and how they get out of their crimes and are punished less severely. And we'll talk about some white-collar criminals, some criminals that are privileged and affluent, and the difference in what you and me have to go through and why we need to vote these dirtbag thugs out of office. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And let's see here. I want to show you this. I made some of these some encouragement. Here's state crimes right here. And we'll talk about this tomorrow. State crime and abusive process by state criminals. We're going to get off here. I'm going to show you some pictures that I made to try to encourage you. Don't leave you on the downside, because God's still in control of everything. If you haven't accepted the Lord Jesus Christ in your heart, ask Him to forgive you and come into your heart. We're here on earth to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. As a Christian, I'm compelled to do that. And the world's never going to be perfect. We can make it a little more perfect, and because it is so dirty right now. Here's a message I want you to think about. If you have time to worry, you have time to pray. This is a church sign I was in front of when I was running for governor. Real good message. This one says, "I'm standing on the promises of God." So like, share, comment. I'm standing on the promises of God. And this one says, always pray and not give up. So we're not going to give up the fight. Always pray and not give up. Stand on the promises of God. This one says, if you have time to worry. This one says, take it to the Lord in prayer. That's what you always do first, and then take action. This one says, this is churches that I stood in front of, and when I was running for governor all across the state of Tennessee, God's messages from churches. Hopefully these will encourage you. Miracles are what happens when we pray. That's right. So pray about stuff. Problems don't Facebook. Seek God's face and book. So problems don't Facebook. Seek God's Facebook. Let me put the thing out here. That was an interesting thing I got. Problems don't Facebook. Seek God's face and book. That's right. Don't Facebook. Seek God's face and book. Here's another one. God is faithful. Right, man's not faithful. A lot of men are affluent criminals that dodge justice, but God's faithful. We can always depend on God, on the Lord Jesus Christ. And here's another one. Worry less, pray more. Trust Jesus. I like that. And here's a member of, and we'll close with this. White collar criminals. Some of them. The ones that turned me down my law license, and I'm here trying to prosecute them. They prosecuted me. Robert F. Parsley, attorney. Yeah, I can't compete against him. He turned me down. Treva Holman, attorney. Carrie Wenzel, Secretary Treasurer. Amy Ann Pope. She wasn't even there and turned me down, I think. Jason H. Long. Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. They are, some of them are affluent criminals. They are inhibiting free trade. Went through law school, and they stopped me from being able to defend you in a court of law. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me see how many subscribers we got on here. Turn this around. Here we go. So we got 41 likes. Let's see if we can get 42. Subscribe and hit 42 before we go off here. I appreciate y'all joining. We'll be back on here tomorrow at about maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30, somewhere around in there. Just log on and y'all can talk. It says, Pastor, I have cancer for the 4th time. Can you please pray for me? I have so much pain. Dear Lord, in Jesus' name, I pray for Louise Cruz. Yes, sir, brother. Never knew God had a face. Okay. No, I'm not God. Christy Kilm, know him. Hello. Knoxville said hi. Hello, Knoxville. And let's copy some of the comments. So let's hit subscribe and hit 42 so I'll know Jesus is Vegas. So I know I got 42 subscribers. And if you don't want to subscribe, then you're not helping me out. Or it doesn't matter, you're viewing my channel. If he's homeless, then he is speaking the names out that have made him where he is today. And people take a good look and listen closely to this because it's going to happen more often. Yeah, that's right, but I'm not homeless. I'm not homeless, but if you want to help me keep the lights on at home, then subscribe. Daisy, give me your answer. Do I'm fine, half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't, I don't know what you're talking about. Amanda Zula, so yeah, okay, 42. Wasted extinguisher. Yeah, that's not funny. I don't know what he thinks we can do for him. Subscribe. Vote. I knew also, but I can just guess he's a jerk. I'm not a jerk. You are for saying that. Deport all illegals. That's right. Amen. That's what we need to do. So somebody hit subscribe and then hit 43. Colonel Sanders. Yeah. What a dirtbag she is. So somebody subscribe and hit 43. We know we got 43 subscribers. We'll be back on here tomorrow. Thank y'all for joining me. We're not in no hurry to get off here. We'll wait till we get 43 subscribers, maybe 45 subscribers. So it looks like viewership is a little down today. That won't get us deterred. It goes up and down. We might have to be on here a few more days till we get over 1,000, but that's all right. I appreciate all of y'all listening to me. Share the channel. You won't hear this anywhere else except for Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Truth from a sociological journalist position. And knowledgeable. I'm lived a pretty long life. Hope to live a lot longer. I'm in my 60s, so I'm not like a kid that don't know what they're talking about. I've lived it and seen it. And I also have a doctor of jurisprudence. I have a Master of Arts in criminology, sociology from the University of Tennessee. So I know what I'm talking about. And I pray to God every day and ask Him to lead and guide me. And I am your source for news and fighting the privilege and power that are dirty, rotten crooks. And you won't hear this message put out anywhere else with unbridled truth. So if you want to hear the truth, if you just want to hear my version of it and think about it, consider it, then subscribe to this channel and listen, because I'll tell you, I'll teach the business, because I know what I'm talking about. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look at the newspapers. Read some of the stuff I'm saying. You say, well, I read that, but I didn't know it was meaning what you said, what you thought. Yeah, read the newspaper. And when you read the newspaper, look at who benefits from the story that they're trying to sell you. Usually it's the opposite story that's the truth. And whoever they're trying to trash is usually a good person. A lot of times it's people in power trying to maintain their power and using the news media, using state-run media, the state-run courts, the crooked criminal courts, and they're criminal because they got a judge that's sitting behind the desk that's a criminal, and to incarcerate you, put you in jail. So we got one more subscriber. Hit the like button, 43, and I'll know we got one more subscriber, and I'll get the hell out of here. And we'll talk back at you tomorrow with some more truth from Charles Van Morgan Live in the morning. Thank you all, every one of y'all, for joining me this morning. God bless you all, I pray. And even if we got one viewer, hey, we got one voice out there listening to me. We got a lot of Russian bots in here, a lot of people that work for the government that are following my page. You know, go ahead, keep doing it, I don't care. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm damn sure you ain't gonna hurt me, I guarantee you that. I'll fight like hell. I intend to stay 6 foot above ground. They'd like to kill me for putting out the truth about them. Okay, we got 43. See if we get 44 subscribers. And then we'll get out of here. We don't need to be in no hurry. Telling the truth. And I get excited. That's my personality. That's my forte. That's the way I roll. And I'm not going to tone it down. I might raise it up another level. When I was out on the road as a police officer and I got the calls where people trying to create drama to distract me and to try to create confusion so they could get out of whatever crimes they committed. You know what way I'd handle it? A tactic I would use? Raise the drama up a little more from my side of it. And they're like, oh, you know, what's going on here? Distract them. So when they're causing drama, cause a little more. Cause a little more, lets them know what they got into. If that's the way they want to do it, then we'll go that way. So the views went up. So yeah, I know how to deal with drama. You just raise the temperature. When they're raising it, you raise it even more. See, they don't like that. They want you to calm it down. No, don't calm it down. Raise it. And so that's the way I roll. That's a tactic I learned when I was in law enforcement. Never got a scratch on me. So you might try that sometimes. Somebody trying to raise the temperature, trying to create a distraction, trying to intimidate you. Raise a little more on your end. See how they like it. Yeah, that throws them off just a little bit. They ain't used to playing that game. because it's only natural when somebody's creating drama, yelling, hollering, doing all kinds of dirty stuff, trying to throw you off, for you to say, oh, calm down, lower the temperature. No, raise it. Raise it. See, that'll solve the problem. Somebody throwing a punch at you, throw one harder, 2 or 3 at them. Don't try to calm them down. So 44, let's get 44 subscribers, and then I promise we'll get the heck out of Dodge. Be back here tomorrow. So get a subscriber, call your friend, tell them to subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Donate if you can. Keep the lights on. So keep the message going. So after we got 44, if you subscribe, hit the like button. And we thank y'all so much for the ones that have. We might have over 1,000 today. I'm not sure. Maybe so, maybe not. But let's see if we get 45. Got 44 likes. Give me subscribe and hit the 45. Hit the like button so when I know we got 45, because I can't see how many subscribers I got. I can only see likes. So call one of your friends, tell them to subscribe, and then we can get off here. We're not in any hurry. So I'm doing exactly what the AI tells me not to do. Is don't stay on there when you ain't got many viewers. AI is run by the state. They tell AI what to say, and they program AI, artificial intelligence, just like they program judges, not to say anything for the public against the state. Don't you dare start that populist movement stuff against, try to take over their power. You perceive it that way. That's not the way it is. You tell AI, well, I seen it that way with my own eyes. No, that's the way you perceived it. It ain't the way you perceived it. It's the way it is. The way you see it in real life, real time, real action, that you know you seen. Don't listen to them. That's gaslighting. They'll tell you didn't see what you saw. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. You wasn't even there and trying to tell me what I seen. Bunch of dirty liars. Get one more subscriber. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the like button. It'll go up to 45, and I will go on my merry way until tomorrow. So thank y'all for listening to me. We go against the flow. We swim upstream. Any dead fish can float downstream. We're not a dead fish. Live wire. Any dead reporter can go along and print how great the state government is, how great the court system is, how great the government is, and all throughout the world. It takes somebody that's got some backbone, some nerve, some accountability, some credibility, some fortitude, some relentlessness to drive it across till we break the plane to the end zone. And we're going to break the plane. 45 subscribes, and when you subscribe, hit the like button. And we have fortitude, and we're relentless, and get us over 1,000 subscribers, contribute, and we'll keep this message going about defy AI, defy the government, people in government power, the criminal elites, which is what people in government power are. We'll defy them and tell you not what you want to hear sometimes. We'll tell you the truth with facts and evidence and black and white pictures until I can afford to get a colored printer. If y'all contribute, we might be able to get a colored printer. If y'all subscribe, we might need to get enough subscribers to get a colored printer. So today we talked about crimes of the privileged. How they do much more harm than a regular street criminal does. And we'll talk about that some more tomorrow, because that's what we need to worry about. We don't need to worry about the crimes that the police take care of, because they don't have a police unit that goes and arrests dirty judges on the bench for putting people in jail unlawfully. And their system to report dirty judges is just a system so they can know who you are, to punish you until you don't complain against the rich people in power. So one more subscribe, we'll get off here. Thank y'all for watching. We still got 25 people in here. I appreciate it. We'll talk about the crimes of the rich and powerful and the privileged tomorrow. subscribe and then hit the like button so I know you subscribe. Get it up to 45 subscribe. So thank y'all very much for joining. We'll be back here tomorrow at about 5:30, 6, maybe 6:30 in the morning. And for Charles Van Morgan in the morning, we enjoy doing this. Hope y'all enjoy listening. Independent news journalist with some teeth in our action. And we will present you with the truth. Let me catch them boots off. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Sean Calhoun. Got to have one more to get us up to 45. Tune in to 11. They named me TikTok. All right, we got to 45. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Got 45 subscribers. So we need about 37 to put us over 1,000. I don't know if we got it or not. We'll find out. We'll be back on here tomorrow. Let me copy some of the comments. I appreciate your comments. We got it open. I'll Google this. Go Volunteers. That's right. And thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for liking. Now we got 46. Wow. So thank y'all for subscribing. We're going to get off here. Last thing I always say is God loves you, and I do too. Till tomorrow.